Hello, human beings. We are looking at the summary of your beginner vocal fry stuff, along with how to practice, little tips, how to think about things, etc., etc. So, in the first tutorial, we looked at finding your vocal fry register. That is the register that lives underneath your speaking voice. So you take your speaking voice, you go down, and you go lower and lower and lower and lower and lower until you hit that. So until you hit vocal fry. At this point, little parenthesis and question, what is the difference between vocal fry as a register and fry as a distortion? Ooh, there's no difference. There is no difference. Scientifically speaking, there is no difference. Okay? However, scientifically speaking, falsetto would be what you hear Justin Bieber do high up and Justin Timberlake do, and it's also what Maria Callas is doing. Do they sound the same? My goodness, no they do not. So, don't worry, it doesn't mean that your vocal fry when doing it as a scream is going to sound like that. Just getting that out of the way. That's the first step. Find your vocal fry as a register. You can do this through imitation, getting onto a piano, going down in pitch, and eventually finding your vocal fry. And if you do not find your vocal fry, you might be getting too breathy and decompressed. So do not open the vocal folds too much. Stay away from breathiness. Breathiness is the enemy of vocal fry in this context. In the second tutorial, we looked at your first exercise to increase your awareness of vocal fry and the actual parameters under which vocal fry likes to exist. Your exercise here was counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in your speaking voice, then doing 1, 2, 3 normally in your speaking voice, 4 and 5 in vocal fry. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the opposite of that. So vocal fry on the first 3 numbers, clean it up for the last 2. I can't speak. So that would sound like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And make sure that you do not do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, do not go 4. Do not have vocal fry at the beginning or at the end of your 4. Really clean it up. The reason we are doing this is to notice the difference in breath that speaking clean and normally has in relation to vocal fry. Studies show that your vocal fry uses 1/3 the amount of breath that your chest voice uses. And so you'll want to know that. And people can reduce this amount to 1.2. Which is what we'd want to do, in theory. If you're going to be singing, and you're going to be a vocal fry singer, and you want to be clean, and then go into vocal fry, you will want to be singing on less breath. So you really want to master this, and then eventually transfer it into your clean singing as a skill. Don't worry about that. This is about vocal fry. So we do this. This is to increase your awareness. So you're noticing the breath reduction, at what volume vocal fry likes to happen. If you do this too loudly, you're very likely to either not get vocal fry or get into a very tight vocal fry, which is the unhealthy one. So let's not do that. Your third tutorial was using the breath reduction that you've been using on that counting exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So going 1... and doing this movement where you go from clean into fry, and trying that on different pitches. So you're just trying like or etc., etc. And for now, you're just trying it on different pitches. You're not panicking if you can't get it in your falsetto or you can't get it on high pitches. You're just trying. You're just playing around with reducing breath and figuring out on which pitches are you specifically very happy to use less air, and on which pitches are you like, no, I need air to get this pitch. How on earth will I ever sing this pitch without air? The question of how will I sing this pitch without that much air is why vocal fry can be so healthy and so good for your clean singing technique. So yeah, it kind of teaches you and informs your singing teacher whether you are able to get to these pitches, whatever the pitches may be, without pushing, without using anything other than the stretch of your vocal folds. Yay. So, after that, your last step was getting into a slow fry, so a kind of popping sound, a slow pulse. That would be clean to fry to slow fry. You're doing that. Again, it is a breath movement. It's just a breath maneuver, not a vocal fold movement. Your vocal folds have very little to do with this. You want your vocal folds responding passively to the breath flow. Yay! Otherwise things get too tight and they sound very quiet. So you do this movement, and the idea is just when you thought you couldn't use less air in your clean singing and you got into vocal fry, and you're like, well, that's the minimum air I'm ever going to use even less. And see if you can pulse it very slowly. This can be done on every single pitch, so check out that video and that tutorial and have fun with it. In relation to practicing this, so your vocal fry is very interesting. You can spend quite some time practicing it. It isn't like false vocal folds where you do not want to spend too much time practicing it in the beginning. You can spend quite a lot of time. However, how much time would I recommend? As much time as you can stay very concentrated and focused for. If that is 3 minutes, that's great. 1 hour is very unrealistic in terms of your concentration. The likelihood that you will be 100% really concentrated and mentally alert for 1 hour is close to 0. So maybe let's not do that. Things that I would recommend would be, and this is going to sound very strange to a lot of you, but when we wake up in the morning, first thing in the morning, we tend to have low breath flow, and we tend to not have moved things around and not be very loud. This, for a lot of people, is the best time to vocal fry. So play around with that. Find out if there is any difference between you practicing the minute you wake up versus later on in the day. Find out whether this is the case. And just be aware of it. It doesn't mean you have to practice in the mornings if it works. The other thing is that if you're doing normal vocal warm-ups or you're doing classical vocal warm-ups, your average vocal warm-up promotes breath flow, which is the exact opposite of what you want in your vocal fry. So it is very likely that the warm-up that you are doing is really bad for your vocal fry and is very insufficient. Given that vocal fry is supposed to be very quiet at this stage, very quiet, very light, very effortless, do you actually need a warm-up? I would venture no. If you feel that you need a warm-up before you do vocal fry exercises, you are using too much effort on your vocal fry. Just too much. You're just trying too hard. There is absolutely no need. It should be like blinking. You don't need to warm up to it. It's not a push-up. Unpopular, controversial opinion. Don't warm up. Don't warm up. Specifically for this, for everything else you do, please warm up. Don't warm up for vocal fry if you're doing these exercises and you're at this stage. There's no need to. If you're going to sing an entire song with vocal fry, yes, please warm up. Or if you're going to add volume to it or anything like that, yes. But these ones? No, No need to. See if it makes a difference. As always, nothing is one size fits all. Some people will feel that if they do warm up, it helps them get into vocal fry. Other people will be completely unable to access their vocal fry if they warm up. If you desperately want to warm up because your teacher or someone told you that if you don't warm up, you're going to die, that is absolutely fine. But if your warm up is disabling you from getting into vocal fry completely, change your warm up if you're going to practice vocal fry. Go for very, very quiet sounds. Work the falsetto. That kind of stuff. Super, super, super quiet. 3 things to keep in mind. Number 1, loads of people, and I mean loads of people, will say that they are doing vocal fry when they are not doing vocal fry, or at least when they are not doing pure vocal fry and they are doing a combo distortion. That's great. However, if you want to do a controlled combo distortion, you will want to learn those 2 distortions independently and separately first, and then combine them. This is a nice level of control. Otherwise, if you just go straight into a combo, then if you want to do false fold or you want to do vocal fry, you'll instinctively go into the combo and it's much, much harder to unlearn. So make your life easy. Just learn pure fry first if you want to do fry sounds. That's the first thing. Second of all, how to get your fry higher. Getting your fry higher up is primarily what I'm going to deal with in the next set of tutorials. So that's going to be intermediate level, where you've kind of got your basics, you know the mechanics and how you are supposed to move based on your beginner stuff. But now you're really getting into the kind of sounds that would be usable. If you're wondering why your vocal fry is so difficult to get in falsetto ranges and to get high up, think of your vocal fry as the most relaxed that your vocal folds will ever be in your life. They will never be more relaxed. So if they are super relaxed, and then in order to increase the pitch, you need to stretch and tense your vocal folds, you are now asking your body to stretch and tense and relax at the same time. Sounds contradictory. That's why it's difficult. So yeah, it's really, really difficult to do, and we'll break it down. The third thing is volume. Volume is one of the last things you want to add to your vocal fry. Just be aware that volume in your vocal fry does not really behave like volume in all other ways of singing. So you're going to be doing very different maneuvers, and you're going to be getting volume in very different ways than you would otherwise. So just be aware of that, and if you've been trying to get more volume by, increasing compression, adding more air, increasing the volume, literally, please stop. Please stop doing that. It's high risk. Or get really good at doing that and do it in a super controlled way. I'm game for anything. Just if you're teaching yourself, don't do it. You. Any questions? Type them in below. I will get back to you. And that is all for now. Yay. Bye bye.